Alright, so for those that don't know and how this was announced, the underlining biggest issue I have with how this is, why I'm so pissed is one, how it was handled. So we have Gina putting a fucking comment on a forum post from 3 weeks ago about the test period. So no dedicated announcement, no dedicated forum post. Literally, this is what we get. We get a fucking comment on a already existing forum post. It's not even pinned like at the top of the forum thread. Like, literally, it's like they kind of tried to sneak this in. They're like, if we just put this here, like, this is a big announcement for them to make, and for them to do it this way just rubs me the wrong way. Like, and I think this is why I was so pissed yesterday. The word, I'm not going to go through this and read the whole thing out because we all basically have seen it and read it. But it's weak at the best. They basically say the reason why is because it gave PvP a fresh breath of life. I think they're misunderstanding people's excitement for a 3-week test period instead of people's excitement for this being almost a semi-permanent thing. A lot of people were excited for a 3-week test period with no procs. A lot of people aren't excited for a 6-month period without proc sets. And then, on top of how this whole thing was handled, the cover-up. Anything on the forums at the moment that is somewhat negative towards this is getting deleted. My forum thread, my poll was removed. I've seen a lot of other stuff removed. Like, it's just been handled poorly by ZeniMax, and I don't know, the whole thing just stinks, basically. Like, it just, I don't know, like, we all know they haven't really seemed to care about PvP for a long time, and this just is more proof that they just really don't give a fuck about us. So yeah, like, the reason behind why they're doing this is just so thin at the best. Like, the fact that people apparently loved the test. So yeah, like, I think they're misunderstanding people's enjoyment for the 3-week test period to, you know, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit lost here. But yeah, the main reason why I was initially so pissed, I think, is just because of how it's handled. It was like this little thread on a forum somewhere, like, you know, just a lazy fucking passing comment about disabling proc sets for the next 6 months. They dribble the same shit in this as well about how they've got information about how they can fix PvP and how it's a complex procedure and it won't be an easy fix, and the same dribble that we've got from them for the last 6 years about PvP. The other big issue, the other big reason why I am pissed, and this is a few variables to this, is just performance. Ever since no procs, performance has 100% been worse for me. I don't know so much about US prime time and that. Obviously, I've only played it several times. But in Australian prime time, performance has been dog shit. Without there, and there they state in here, right, that it's because of the increased amount of players on the server, which is bullshit. Because yes, for the first 3 or 4 days of double AP, Cyrodiil was a lot busier than what it normally is. After those 3 or 4 days, population fell off and was actually quieter than what it normally is. So Aussie prime time, generally there was a max of 6 bars, so like 2 bars, 2 bars, 2 bars, or a combination. 6 to 7 bars, which is average or below average for Aussie primetime, and the server was dog shit. I'm talking 400 ping, like just unplayable at times. Now this could be because of the PTS cycle. I don't know, I've talked about this several times. A lot of people may not notice it, but every time the PTS cycle is out, the main server does generally lag a lot more. And the introduction of cross healing back into the game. So how much those two have impacted it and how much it's actually got to do with Procs and their actual testing, I don't know. But if server performance continues to be worse, that alone to me is 100% a thing that basically states they shouldn't do this. Like, and I think that's kind of the worst thing for me is that there's no logical reason for them to do this. Performance-wise anyway. So my other big concern is player population. Why I'm so pissed is like pop has already started to fall off in Oz primetime. And I guarantee you after double AP is removed, population's going to fall even more. So what, we're going to end up with one bar in fucking Oz primetime? Like, it may not get that bad, but that is a legit concern I have. And I don't think Zos understands that how many people are actually playing PvP right now for double AP. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know there's going to be a lot of older players coming back, but I doubt they're going to stay around. And I think, cause yesterday I was just pissed. I was angry. I couldn't really understand why I was so pissed about it, because realistically, no procs for 6 months is kind of fun for me. But I think the biggest thing for me is this is just fucking lazy. This is ZeniMax going, okay, we've got a big issue in PvP. Everyone is bitching about proc set meta. What are we going to do about it? Oh, I know what we can do. We can just disable them for 6 months. Like, instead of actually fucking balancing sets out, balancing the meta out, and actually fixing their game, they've just taken the lazy, stupid, dumb route out and gone, we're going to disable them for 6 months. Done. That's what's triggered me so hard. I thought about it a lot. It's like, and that's it. Then they can sell whatever they want to sell, but the honest truth, and I think the honest, like the real truth behind it, is that they're sick of people bitching about proc sets and the meta, and instead of actually fucking spending money and time and effort on balancing things out, they've just gone, fuck it, disable them for 6 months. And it's just fucking shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it just rubs me the wrong way so bad. The other issues I have is obviously build diversity. Build diversity was already stale. It's going to continue to be stale. Like, I'm already bored. There's not really many options you have at the moment. Like, within a week, you can try just about every option there is, and, you know. And obviously class imbalance is a big problem at the moment. I don't think class imbalance is any further, like, separated than what it was. It's just obviously there's different classes right now that are S tier and so on and so on. But the fact that it's not worse than what it was doesn't mean it's good. And, you know, another big thing for me, and what confuses me the most out of this whole scenario, is how this is beneficial for ZeniMax. Now, I can probably guarantee you if we continue to see these tests and they don't backtrack, we'll see some really strong stat-based sets come out. That's what they'll do. That's how they'll get the money out of this. So instead of really strong proc sets, we'll see really strong stat-based sets come out in the upcoming DLCs. Because it makes no sense for them to do this, because they are going to lose money. And I don't know, I don't want to dribble on too much about this, but just the overall way this has been handled is just poor by ZeniMax. I really shouldn't be surprised. I don't think anyone should be surprised about how it's been handled. I don't think this is Gina's fault or anyone at ZeniMax. They're just doing as they're told. But, you know, this needed to be handled in a better way. There needed to be more conversation about this before they just went and pulled the trigger, because there literally was no communication with the player base, and, you know, it's literally they've just pulled the trigger. Has anyone got any questions or any feelings they want before we wrap this up? I'm not going to end stream, but we're just going to go back to PvP. Build diversity would be the same with proc sets. You just have every other... Yeah, like as I said, build diversity was already pretty bad, but let's be honest, it wasn't as bad as what it is now. Like, and, you know, as I said, it was bad, it's just worse now. At least you had some options before. I'm playing Black Desert, now they handled this horribly, I agree, yeah. Like, and I think that's what just triggered me so bad yesterday, and I just couldn't quite figure out why I was so triggered. But I think it's just the way they've handled the whole situation. The way they've tried to cover up the community's feedback instead of, you know, acknowledging the community's feedback and, you know, moving forward with that information. They're just trying to cover it up. So, like, honestly, I was pretty adamant they were gonna backtrack on this pretty quickly. I'm not so confident about that anymore. Just the lengths that they're kind of going to try and cover this up makes me feel like this is something they're going to stick to, with, at least for the next probably 3 months. We may see something change with the next DLC that they bring out, but I've got a feeling that this is here. I could be wrong, and tomorrow they could announce that they're backtracking. But, you know, I think this is here for at least the next 3 months. To build up months on new releases, but slip in a major change like this, hoping nobody will know. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, literally, it just kind of feels like they slipped this in. And, you know, yes, 6 months. Well, Q3, so September, they're saying, no procs. I guess while we're here, and I might as well get this other rant that I wanted out. My thoughts on CP. I'm pretty pissy at ZeniMax for the CP change. Overall, I find the CP change interesting and something that needed to be done for a long time now. I just think the way that ZeniMax has gone about the new CP is just dirty. Turning around to the player base and going, now the CP cap is 5 times larger than what it was, is literally just not the right way to handle something. Because, you know, as I've stated on stream before, like, I've been so far in front of the cap, I'm nearly 1500 CP, that I've never worried about, you know, getting double XP bonuses and that kind of stuff while they're on. So I've missed out on a lot of experience over the years because I just didn't need it. So, like, I don't know if they're going to reimburse us. I haven't seen anything about that, but I think ZeniMax should reimburse us. If they're going to lower the amount of XP it takes to earn a CP, they should give the existing player base that reimbursement. If they did something like that, then my overall feelings on the CP system would be good. I think they've rushed in a CP system to try and force people to continue playing the game and continue farming CP. That's all it makes it feel like for me. Giving the middle finger to the people that have been playing this game for years and years and years. How is Mage Blade in no proc PvP? Pretty good. So, anyway, any last thoughts, chat, that you guys have got? Questions before I wrap this up and we can go back to PvP? I don't think I missed anything. I think I talked about everything. I think they made it easier to get to 2k CP, let the scale to get to 160 was. Yes, they are doing that, but as I said, it's a big middle finger to the existing player base. If they don't reimburse the existing player base, it's literally a big fuck you to the people that have been playing this game for 6 years. Like, I agree that they need to make it easier to get to 2k CP, but at the same time, they can't fuck us over. And that's what they're kind of doing. It's how I feel. People may feel differently. But anyway, we'll wrap this up and we'll go back into PvP. And they're extending the resting. Someone told me they are extending the resting. Someone told me they were. Are you saying they're extending the CP? Oh, testing. Yes, the testing is now going to be going for the next 3 to 6 months. So those guys that just come in, we just talked about all this stuff. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube later on. So if you guys want to watch it and see my thoughts on the whole thing, it will be on YouTube later on. Alright, let's get back into PvP.